In a tense late-night session, the United States Senate convened, the air thick with anticipation and political maneuvering. The fate of a landmark piece of legislation hung in the balance, promising significant ramifications for the nation's future. The Senate has narrowly passed, after hours of rigorous debate and strategic negotiations, a cornerstone of President Trump's second-term agenda, a policy initiative that the administration has championed relentlessly, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. This comprehensive piece of legislation encompasses a wide range of policy changes, from tax reforms to infrastructure investments. The vote was a deadlock, a moment of high drama as the electronic tally board displayed an even split 50-50, a perfect stalemate that paralyzed the chamber and amplified the tension. Every eye was glued to the vote count, until Vice President J.D. Vance, the presiding officer of the Senate, as President of the Senate, prepared to exercise his constitutional authority, cast the tie-breaking vote, a decision that would determine the fate of the bill, tipping the final count to 51-50. The chamber erupted as the final tally flashed across the screen. This rare intervention, a moment etched in Senate history, secured a major victory for the Trump administration, marking a significant legislative achievement, but also exposed deep divisions, highlighting the intense polarization within the legislative body, not just between parties, but within the GOP itself, revealing internal conflicts and ideological rifts. 3 Republican senators, a trio of dissenting voices within the party ranks, Collins, Tillis and Paul, each with their own reasons for opposing the bill, broke ranks, defying party leadership and casting votes against the bill, forcing the dramatic tie, a moment of suspense that gripped the nation and underscoring the party's internal fractures. This act of defiance highlighted the challenges facing party unity. The razor-thin margin, a testament to the bill's controversial nature, frustrated opponents who viewed the legislation as deeply flawed, who argued such sweeping legislation, with its far-reaching consequences, deserved broader support. They believed a bipartisan approach was essential. Now, the bill heads to the House, where it faces an uncertain future, where another fierce debate is certain, promising further political clashes and legislative hurdles. The One Big Beautiful Bill. It's a phrase that encapsulates a massive piece of legislation, a sweeping set of proposals that aims to reshape the very fabric of American society. Is a $3.3 trillion package, a staggering sum representing a significant investment, or some might argue, a gamble, on the future direction of the nation's economy. That reshapes taxes, fundamentally altering the way individuals and corporations contribute to the national coffers. Spending, dictating where and how the government allocates its vast resources, impacting everything from infrastructure to social programs and federal priorities. It's a blueprint for the nation's future, outlining the administration's vision for the years to come. At its heart, permanent 2017 tax cuts, a cornerstone of the bill, promising to stimulate the economy and provide relief to taxpayers. New relief for tips and overtime, offering a potential boost to the earnings of millions of workers in the service industry. And a sweeping overhaul of the tax code, a complex and ambitious undertaking, aiming to simplify the system and make it more equitable, or so its proponents claim. The bill boosts military and immigration enforcement funding, reflecting a commitment to strengthening national security and controlling the borders, fulfilling key Trump campaign promises, delivering on pledges made to voters, solidifying support among the president's base. To pay for it, the bill slashes hundreds of billions from Medicaid, food stamps and clean energy programs, sparking fierce controversy. These cuts are not without consequence, raising concerns about the impact on vulnerable populations and the environment. Supporters say it will fuel economic growth and strengthen national security. A vision of prosperity and safety, driving the rationale behind the bill's ambitious goals. Critics warn it will leave millions without health coverage and gut the social safety net. A starkly contrasting perspective highlighting the potential downsides and the human cost of the bill's provisions. The bill's scale and trade-offs have ignited a national debate over America's priorities, a fundamental question of values and vision, shaping the future of the nation. For millions of Americans, this bill's impact will be immediate and far-reaching, touching nearly every aspect of their daily lives. It's a piece of legislation that promises significant changes, both positive and negative, depending on individual circumstances. Many will see more take-home pay from tax cuts, providing a boost to their monthly budgets. There's also potential relief on tips and overtime, rewarding hard work and offering a bit more financial breathing room. However, deep cuts to Medicaid, a vital safety net for millions, could leave up to 12 million without health insurance. This raises serious concerns about access to care and the potential for increased financial strain on families. This could force tough choices for vulnerable families, who may have to choose between health care and other essential needs. The potential consequences are significant, impacting not only their physical health, but also their overall financial stability. At the same time, military and immigration spending will rise, reflecting a shift in national priorities. This will likely lead to a more aggressive border policy, with increased enforcement and visible changes in communities nationwide, particularly those near the border. These changes could have profound social and economic impacts. Supporters of the bill see it as a path to economic empowerment, fostering job growth and strengthening national defense. They believe it will create a more prosperous and secure future for the country. Conversely, opponents see a dismantling of vital support systems, particularly those that protect the most vulnerable members of society. They fear it will exacerbate inequality and undermine essential services. Ultimately, the bill's effects will depend heavily on your individual circumstances, including your income, job, and reliance on government programs. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to how it will impact you. For some, it represents a lifeline, offering opportunities for growth and financial stability. But for others, it poses a significant threat to their well-being, potentially jeopardizing their access to healthcare and other essential services. The stakes couldn't be higher, as the decisions made in Washington will have a profound and lasting impact on the lives of everyday Americans across the nation. Passing the bill was a marathon over 24 hours of debate, procedural standoffs, and political theater. Opponents forced a full reading of the 940-page bill, spotlighting its complexity and the rushed process. The ensuing vote-a-rama saw dozens of amendments proposed and swiftly defeated as senators took public stands on controversial issues. The spectacle tested senators' stamina and resolve with little sleep and high stakes. The process revealed deep partisan divides and the lengths both sides would go to shape the outcome. In the end, it was a battle of endurance as much as ideology. The final vote capped a legislative saga that gripped Washington. With Senate passage, the bill now faces its next hurdle: the House of Representatives. Speaker Mike Johnson must unite a divided caucus to approve the Senate's version, amid internal GOP disagreements and a looming deadline. House Republicans are torn: support the president's agenda or risk backlash from constituents and Trump himself. The coming days will see intense negotiations and political maneuvering. If the House passes the bill, it heads to President Trump's desk. If not, a conference committee and further delays await. The bill's fate, and its sweeping changes, now rest with the House. All eyes are on the final showdown.